You're listening to the Visibly Fit podcast. Hey, I'm your host, Wendie Pett, and every week I'll give you holistic, practical solutions for everyday issues related to nutrition, healing, functional fitness, and behavior modifications. As a naturopath, fitness expert, and wellness coach for over 20 years, my goal is to empower you to reach for greater health and to rise up to your next level of living in mind, body, and spirit. You were created with greatness in mind. It's time to own it. Are you with me? Then let's dive in. Hey there, and welcome to the Visibly Fit podcast. I'm your host, Wendie Pett. Thank you so much for spending your precious time with me. I love spending my time with you. Listen, on today's show, Visibly Fit is all about being fit mind, body, and spirit, and also emotions. We talk about different topics, right? Like I have different doctors and different experts on, and I share from my viewpoints. And today, God has really put on my heart really talking about virtual reality. I know that sounds kind of like a strange topic to be talking about today, but there is a reason, mainly because my husband and I watched not too long ago Gran Turismo, which is a true story based on a kid that was a gamer. And he really liked to be in the simulation game of race car driving. And basically, he was able to go and race for real, and he was crushing it. Like he did phenomenal. Like he was doing better than the real race car drivers that had been trained and have been racing for many, many years. And so I just want to talk a little bit about virtual reality because it's emerged, it was just kind of technology that was gaming, right? But now it's kind of moving into the field of healthcare. We're learning more about AI and virtual reality and all the things that are happening, but it just opens up new possibilities for patient care and pain management and mental health treatment, surgical training for our surgeons, which is mind-blowing and amazing. It opens up the possibilities for rehabilitation. And so on this podcast today, we're really just going to chat. I'm hoping that we can have a little dialogue. I know it's going to be one-sided since this is my podcast and you can't dialogue back per se, but you can comment, and I'd love to see your comments. But I would like to talk more about kind of the pros and cons of virtual reality technology and thinking about its future applications in healthcare. Now, I know that there's already a lot that's been thrown into healthcare as far as virtual reality is concerned, and it's really revolutionizing patient care, and it will continue to revolutionize patient care. And it's pretty exciting. Again, going back to that movie that my husband and I watched, I just think, wow, this kid was just, a quote unquote gamer. And yet he was a master race car driver. Like he crushed it, and it was mind blowing. And I think about how, our brain doesn't always know the difference between a virtual reality versus reality. And that's kind of one of the things that I guess makes me pause a little bit too, because I would think there's some pros and cons to virtual reality, depending on the person, right? And depending on the mental health of the person. But there's a lot of advancements that have really transformed various industries. And really, healthcare is no exception at all. And I believe that it's going to make such an impact in our healthcare system and in how we are just enhancing our patient experience, right? If you're a patient that needs any kind of healthcare, I believe that virtual reality will be the game changer opportunity. I really do. I really do. But I do believe that every person needs to be evaluated in their, I believe they all need their own intense evaluation, right? Again, the pros and cons of virtual reality, I don't know. Again, our body or our mind doesn't always know the difference between VR and reality. So, um, what's going to be the defining point within these evaluations on if you are a good subject, if you're a good person, a good patient to experience virtual reality results or not? I think it's going to take probably some different phases, I guess, if you will, on going deeper on these evaluations, just because of the cons. I mean, you think about watching like a scary movie, for instance, if I can just go there for a minute. Our mind, doesn't know the difference between it being a movie and actual reality as far as how it responds, right? Like we get anxious, our body responds in a similar way. And so, for those reasons, that's why I'm talking about the evaluation really needs to be um, pretty individualized and yeah, it probably needs some improving. But with that said, I think the immersive experience overall will be incredible. I think virtual reality technology will probably just, I don't know. I think it will just change the way we operate as in the healthcare system, but also as patients. I was actually just talking to my mom the other day, and she was very just kind of frazzled, if you will. She was like, "Oh, I can't figure out how to get into the my chart," and she didn't do a lot of computer work, and so that was frustrating for her. Even though it's real simple, which I will walk her through that so she doesn't have to go through that stress. But she ended up driving like 45 minutes in serious traffic, and she was stressed to the max. And, she's getting to that point where she doesn't really like to drive in major traffic. She doesn't like to drive when it's getting a little dusk or dark at night. And so I think about those that are not real computer savvy, right? And how the computer software and the computer generated ways in which we're doing telehealth is awesome. It's awesome for the patient that can use it. But those that really haven't caught on, it's still frustrating. And so, how will virtual reality kind of um, help someone like my mom, for instance, because she just had like a 10-minute um, kind of quick meeting with her doctor, right? Like it was a quick rehab kind of thing that she had to do, and she could have done that through telehealth, and it would have just been so much easier. So, how can it change some of these the ways that the seniors are experiencing their healthcare and pain management maybe situations right now? I think it can really make a big difference, but there's going to have to be some education around even like computer stuff, like getting into my chart, which seems so easy for someone like myself who understands computers. But what about that generation that really wasn't on computers too much? I had tried to assist with a group of seniors, and they literally didn't even know how to click a link to watch a video. And as simple as that sounds, there has to be some education within maybe the doctor's office, during the doctor's visit, that kind of thing, to help people with this technology. But again, I do believe, all in all, regarding pros and cons of virtual reality and all that it can do for us as individuals and the healthcare space for surgeons and doctors and those nurses in that space, it's going to be a game changer. I mean, it really is. I think of like pain management, right? Studies have shown that actual virtual reality therapy, that it reduces pain levels among patients. And for an example, there was a study done in 2019, and it reported a 24% reduction in pain scores for burn patients that were using virtual reality. Now, this is so cool because they were not taking any kind of pharmaceutical drugs to minimize their pain levels. They were using virtual reality. this is huge. This is a game changer. Like that gets me so excited on that level because there are so many people on pain medication that, I mean, I know this was for burn victims, but I'm talking, what about for back pain and for knee pain and for different pain issues that people are dealing with? Yes, of course, we want to get the chronic inflammation out of their body and get to the root cause of what that pain is. But what if we can do these virtual reality engaging experiences that are going to um, assist people with their pain management so that they don't reach for even over the counter meds, right? That have serious repercussions. Okay. They have major side effects and people are popping them like candy. And hey, by the way, candy has major side effects too. So don't pop candy or pills. Anyway, but I think virtual reality can really make a difference with that as well. And then I think about the mental health aspect of virtual reality and exposure to that VR therapy. There's been studies and it's demonstrated that it's been given promising results for people that are dealing with phobias or PTSD or anxiety or depression. I mean, that right there is huge, and that can change somebody's life. I knew somebody that one of my patients actually that really struggled with leaving the home. They were just reclusive and they were afraid to, they had phobias of leaving the home. And something like virtual reality could really help um, someone like that have freedom, right? And get to the root cause and get them to get over their fears and to reduce those symptoms so they can live a normal life, hopefully, and be free of that fear and of those phobias. So that's pretty exciting. I think about virtual reality that way and how it can be done in a controlled and safe environment, right? So that's huge. And it's a controlled setting. So just like my patient that had the phobia of leaving home, they wouldn't have to leave home. They could do this virtually through telehealth and through their own controlled setting that would enhance their engagement. It would enhance their healing. And I think it would be a better treatment outcome. So that's really exciting to me. So I just can't wait to see what the future holds. And again, it's already being used in so many different scenarios. I even think about surgeons right now that are being trained in, virtual reality simulators, basically, doing surgery, just like the gamer that was, driving those cars around the racetrack. Well, he put in so many hours. What is it? 10,000 hours, you become a master. Well, he'd put in at least 10,000 hours of gaming, and he became a master at driving a car when it became real life situations. So there is opportunity here that will improve, I believe, surgical outcomes. So they are studying right now. They are using virtual reality to do brain surgery, to do any back surgeries, all the things. And this is just super cool because they have actually seen that the surgeons perform better in laparoscopic surgeries when they were trained with VR rather than traditional methods. Isn't that amazing, right? I mean, I think about just visualization, period. Like when we are, visualizing, an outcome, or like how athletes visualize a game and the win of that game and every move and every I'm thinking of basketball, but every dribble of the ball, or maybe football, every quarter, you know, every quarterback that is throwing the ball, they picture every person they're aiming to and every touchdown that's made. And anyway, they start to visualize that and really see it. It becomes more of reality. And so virtual reality works in a similar way, right? It enhances your skills. It allows for repetitive practice, and it really does reduce that risk um, to having to deal with real patients during training, right? Like that's not fun to work with real patients during training. Let's do virtual reality. Let's master it, especially those complex procedures. And let's keep our patients safe, right? Like that makes sense. So anyway, I'm just super excited. I think about rehab. A lot of people are going to rehab facilities and getting therapy, whether, physical therapy kind of things, because they've maybe had, knee replacement or whatever it is. Maybe they've had a shoulder injury or whatever, but they want better recovery outcomes. And so that's why they go to rehab, and they make sure they're doing the exercises and all the things. But what if a patient has had a stroke, or they've been in situations like that? They still need rehabilitation. And so if they could do that through virtual reality instead of traditional therapy, that would be a game changer. I mean, they could do virtual reality therapy right in the comfort of their own home. It can be personalized programs. And I just think it's going to be more of a pro than a con. I think it's going to be more advantageous for us to have this AI and virtual reality than not to have it. But again, my brain, just because I'm not there yet, because I haven't seen it fully evolve, I still kind of think about, ooh, what about some people that aren't mentally equipped for this virtual reality training, and it could take them over the edge in some capacity. So again, it really takes having healthy evaluations to reduce that possibility. But all in all, I think it's going to be pretty advantageous. What do you think? I don't know. Let's dialogue about it. I think it's going to be pretty cool. I think it's going to reduce the need or the desire or even the reliance on medications. Going back to that pain control, right? So many people are on pain medication, and so many people are becoming highly addicted to prescription pain medications. And so if we can give people results without having to have medications that have side effects that end up, people needing more medications because of the side effects. Oh my gosh, it's just going to be so great for our health as a society and obviously individually. So anyway, that's kind of my little conversation today. I'm just curious what your thoughts are. I don't have fear about virtual reality or AI per se. I'm curious. I'm curious, and I have a few little hesitations. But all in all, I think it's just going to be incredible. I really do, as long as it's in the hands of good, right? And we can gain more, I guess, more efficient in our efforts as healers and as a collective group of health practitioners. If we can help our patients in this way and help them become more motivated and engaged with this kind of therapy, game on. I'm in. I want people to recover faster. I want people to have no side effects and no implications. And I think virtual reality is really going to have some tremendous promises. I really do. So be on the lookout. And hopefully your health and everything is a-okay, and you don't need any kind of virtual reality help. But if you do, dig a little deeper, find out more, do some research. Where's the technology in your area, and where is it improving, and how can you apply it to maybe your situation and your needs? So yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to revolutionize healthcare, and also just be more innovative, right? For what you might be dealing with, whether it's rehab or pain management, or maybe it's your health and your well-being as far as your nutrition and your exercise. Yeah, maybe I'll come on as like a little virtual reality person for you, and share all that you should be eating for your best health, for an anti-inflammatory experience, and exercises where you can use your body. All right, I'm planting the seed. Come on now. Speak it out with me. This is good. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Thank you for entertaining this podcast episode with me. I do believe that it's going to be an incredible future ahead. Let's start seeing the good in all of this that's to come. It is all new. It's going to be different because we're evolving. as people, right? We are evolving, and anything that is evolving feels a little different, feels a little freaky, but I promise it's going to be for the good. I really do believe that. I believe it's going to help people with anxiety and depression, and man, it's going to change our society. I really believe that. So so let's kind of keep a positive spin on it. And when I said pros and cons, I just kind of had that one. So we just kind of need to have some serious evaluation and personalized evaluation to make sure that person is ready for VR technology and training for their healing. So anyway, thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of Visibly Fit. I appreciate you. I care about you. And I want your health to be in its best situation, your best health, mind, body, spirit, emotions. And if you are looking for a place for a kind of a one-stop shop for all of that, go to getvisiblyfit.com. We would love to work with you. That's where you can get meal plans and grocery lists and recipes, a library of over 65 workouts where you just use your body as your gym. You get meals sent to your door. You have coaching, accountability, education. It's like all there. It's awesome. So if you have questions, let me know, but I would love to dialogue with you on this virtual reality topic. So thanks again for tuning in, and I will catch you next time right here on Visibly Fit. Be blessed. Well, that's a wrap for today's show. So thank you so much for tuning in. I love spending this time with you. To learn more and get more free resources, just head on over to wendiepett.com. And thank you in advance for sharing this episode and this podcast, following and subscribing not only to this podcast, but finding me on social media, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you are, I'm probably there too. Until next week and our next podcast time together, make it a Visibly Fit day.